All right. Hello, everyone. We are here today with Sumaya Nazar, a rapper and singer-songwriter from New York City, and we will be interviewing her ahead of her segment with the breakdown on September 27th with Avenue A in Harlem. Yeah.
How you feeling today? Like, just in general, like this present moment.
I'm feeling really good. Like, look at how beautiful it is outside. I feel like it's been really cold randomly in New York, like earlier than it should be. So I'm feeling great now that it's 80 degrees, and I'm happy to be here.
So, how have you felt since releasing 1446? Yeah, like how are you feeling off the back of that? And like, what was just like the inspiration behind the album and the name of the album?
So the inspiration comes from a couple months that I spent living outside of the country. I was studying in Abu Dhabi, and during that time, I visited Southeast Asia. I visited Mecca and Medina and Jeddah. I took a trip to Tunis, and the EP is really like almost a travel diary, and it's like the accumulation of like different thoughts and conclusions that I came to like while being outside of the US because I've lived like my entire life in New York. So it was really like eye-opening to spend so much time out of the country in 2024. And before I had like gone to study abroad, I visited Ghana, I visited Tunis. So it was just me kind of like getting older and like seeing the world for the first time. And the name of the EP actually comes from the Islamic year that I did most of the traveling in, and also like around the time that the EP dropped. And I'm feeling really good. Like, I'm feeling really grateful. I think when I dropped Nazar Archives, which was my first EP, I was like, this is the most vulnerable like I've ever been. Like, I never thought I would release these songs. And I feel like I was even more vulnerable on 1446. And I think I was really brave about it, which I'm proud of. And I wasn't as nervous as I was when I dropped Nazar Archives. And to see like the reception that it's had and how people have really like tapped in, and the people who have listened to it with a very careful and intentional ear. And that means a lot.
Yeah, like I listened to it probably twice so far, and like it was like certain lines you said, I was like, damn, like, and it was low key scary because it was like it was certain shit I was going through and I was talking to my friends about, and like you spoke it in the music. I'm gonna get into that more later, but yeah.
Do you have a favorite song off of the album?
Right now, so I just dropped the deluxe like last week. And right now, my favorite song is this like bonus track that I added to the deluxe, which is Chip on Your Shoulder featuring Rakim Ali. I just think like that song is so much fun. Like, even though I love all of 1446, the album is very, like the EP, is very heavy. And that's kind of the more like fun, playing on sounds that I've done in the past, like song.
How did that collaboration between y'all two come together? Like, how do you?
Honestly, it was super, super casual. Like, when I came back from being abroad, I ran into Rakim in a couple places. I think we were both featured in the same Me and My show by Ravon. Shout out Ravon. We were both like featured artists in a Me and Mine show, I think in February. And he was like amazing, bro. Like, he was so cool, and like talking to him was so cool. And then right before I went on a trip to Tunis and to London again this summer, Otto hit me up, who's the guy who produced that song and Downside. We were running a session. Rakim happened to be in New York. It was like, okay, let's do this real quick. And the song came together in like probably less than 3 hours. Like, that recording that we did is the recording that's out. I left, Otto mixed and mastered it, and now it's like on platforms. That's the whole story, to be honest.
That's fire. When it comes to like collaborating with other artists, what's like your process for doing that? Do you just come with an idea and like go to them with the idea, or do y'all just kind of like build the idea together like from the start and work
I
up?
feel like in the past, it's mostly been off of like, yo, we're chilling, like, okay, now we have a song together. But I think a lot of those songs don't always come out. I think when you have like a reason to sit down and like really intentionally work on something, that's when you have a product that everyone feels good about like releasing in the end. So the songs that people hear on platforms, those have been like very intentional. But in general, when I'm writing music with people, it's just like a how we are now, and they're like, okay, let's go in the studio, kind of thing. With Rakim, I think that was the most like impromptu one. I didn't think we would like walk away with something that we're like, nah, this is like really, really fire. But with my other features like Playbook, that has Safa, with Across the Room, which is with Nolan Trotter, those were like because of school assignments. And Float On with Zayn was actually an idea he presented to me. Like that was not originally my song. He really like wrote the song, wrote the hook, made the beat, like all of that. And I just really resonated with everything that he did. And I was like, can I please drop this like on something that I'm working on right now? So yeah.
Okay. So venturing off outside of music, what can you like tell us about Young Lords, and just the public work you do in general outside of art?
Yeah, so Young Lords Collective was an activist artist collective that I started when I was in high school. And it was like a group of my friends and like people that they knew from New York City or from Long Island, like places close by, who just cared about the same things and like wanted to create a more equitable city with the little things that we can do, and wanted to create spaces where like people are making art for reasons that are like bigger than themselves. And we did a lot of amazing work that I'm super proud of to this day, and then kind of put a hold on working all together because so many of us were just like in so many different places, and it was hard to organize once we went to college. And I think since taking a step back from the collective and thinking more about what I want to do independently, I've been trying to find more ways to incorporate mutual aid in my music and in like music events and things like that, and trying to be more explicit about like what I believe in and like what I feel like through my songs, which is why like I wrote and recorded The Sun. That was the first song that I put anything on paper for. So yeah, that's why like I dropped The Sun, because I wanted to have a song that like very explicitly says how I feel about who I am and my community around the world, like what I've learned, like shout out Africa. And yeah, so that's kind of where I've been with organizing. Also just like trying to find, again, more opportunities to like do the mutual aid work that I would do before, but in the spaces that I'm in now.
Okay. And so what advice would you give someone who sees what's like going on in the world and just wants to just organize people to like make a difference? And I feel like you could like attain to this too. Mm-hmm. Is that the right word to say? But yeah.
She got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think to your point, it's like doing what people like her do, like trying to think of ways to get people together in a way that makes them leave feeling more full. And also trying to find ways to confront the reasons why people need to get together in those spaces. I think that's the key to organizing. Of course, there are also like other ways that people need to organize that isn't about joy, like protests and things like that. But if you're trying to organize in artistic spaces, I think leading with that is a good way to get people involved. And I think also realizing that organizing often starts with one person or two people who get a small group together, and you don't have to like feel like, oh, if I'm not going to do like what Martin Luther King did, I shouldn't do this at all. Like you should realize and recognize that there are organizers in your life and that you can emulate what they did, and hopefully it can grow to be bigger, but if not, small impact is how change comes about.
Thank you. And that's really beautiful, just being able to like mesh just like your interests and like your identity and what makes you you, and like use that to propel other people and lead other people to also, you know, stand up for the causes that you believe in and they also believe in. And just like going based off of that a little more, I know you're in school and you're studying Middle Eastern and Islamic studies. And I know you talk about a lot of your identity and who you are in your music. And I just wanted to hear more about what your process has been merging your creative endeavors and you being a singer, songwriter, rapper with the things that you're passionate about and the things that you stand for.
I think it kind of just comes out because I'm talking about myself. I think family is a big theme in all of my music in a way that like I really don't even think about. Like, it's not like I sit down and I'm like, I'm gonna write songs about my mom and dad. But it's something that just comes out of me. And I think like my perspective on family in Nazar when I was like a teenager versus like my perspective on family now in 1446, now that I'm like in my early 20s, shows how much like I've thought about my identities, how much I've learned about like the history of people like me, and like it just shows up in the music. In terms of like studying both like Middle Eastern and Islamic studies as a minor and having my major be recorded music, it was an idea that maybe I kind of had going into college, but I've just always loved like anthropology, history. Like I love learning about people. Like I'm in the crib like watching documentaries. Like that's kind of like my like random like niche obsession. And throughout high school, I had like a lot of internships and like opportunities through like jobs that I had at museums and things like that to study the Black American experience, to study the history of like Caribbean immigrants in New York, to study like how those groups would organize. But I wasn't really able to be around places where I had resources on like North Africans specifically, or like the Muslim world. And I thought college was my opportunity to like actually get a more academic background in those things, since I have been in so many academic spaces about like other parts of myself.
I know Emil was speaking earlier about how he's listened to your music that like resonated very deeply, and I feel like I felt the same. Like your music feels very like familiar and warm and like very just like carefree. Like I just want to like run in the field and just like put my arms out while listening to your music. Just like as a fellow Black woman, it's like really cool to see you just speaking about your identity in that way, in like such a beautiful way as well. I just wanted to know if what the overall reception you've received from your audience has been, especially those who can like really relate to what you're saying and resonate with it.
I think like, thank God, like it really has been resonating with people. People feel that it's very personal and that they've learned a lot about me through the project and about like how art can like reflect who they are as well, specifically music. Cause I think so many of us listen to like feel good music, or like if it does like confront like negative feelings, it's kind of always about like romantic love. And like we get stuck in a loop of like thinking that music can only be that. And I love those songs, don't get me wrong, but like there's so much out there. And I think there's like a little bit of shock value and like appreciation at the same time that people have when they hear that. It's been really nice to hear that people feel that the EP is actually like a journey and that they got like a well-rounded story from it, because it's only like a couple songs long. It's no more than 20 minutes long, like the deluxe. So yeah, that's been really nice.
So your latest project, it has a theme of like growing up, but also the lyrics, like the sound of itself, like, so like how was that process of like creating that texture sonically and like with your lyrics?
I feel like when it comes to lyrics, it's really hard for me to sit down and like write a song that I think is like super positive and people would like want to like dance to and like turn up to. Like that's not the direction that my mind like instantly goes in. I'm like, how do I trauma dump on a page? Like that's like that's where I be. So like coming up with lyrics like that isn't that difficult. That's usually where my mind is at. And I have to say that even though Miles Krieger is not the only producer on 1446, it's produced by both Miles and Otto, the sound of the production for 1446 was like totally precedented by Miles, because I didn't write any songs outside of like school assignments for like almost a year. Like I was just not feeling it. Like I don't know why, but like I was just not feeling it. And when I was in Abu Dhabi, Miles sent me a beat pack where I was just like, this is what I've been needing. Like he just sent me something where I was like, that. And I don't know, like I don't even really know how to explain it, but like that tone was set by him and like what he sent me. And I think that like sonically it comes from the fact that both Otto and Miles are like listening to the same kind of like underground music in New York. And we're all kind of on the same vibe.
When did you first start creating music and what inspired you?
I always I always knew that I wanted to make music. Like those are my earliest memories. And I always knew that I wanted to be a recording artist. And I was in voice lessons and like doing musical theater training and stuff like that from like a very young age. But I didn't really start seriously write down my own ideas for songs on paper until I was in middle school. And it was something that I very much so hid. And it kind of started with rap instead of like songs, like sung songs. And that scared me because I had done singing for my whole life. And I was like, who would listen to a female rapper? Like, why am I doing this? And so it was something that just like lived on my notes app in middle school until I was in my sophomore year of high school. And I did the high school program at the Clive Davis School at NYU, which is where I go now. And it really just opened my eyes to what the music industry is. And I was like, nah, like if I don't take myself seriously, no one's gonna take me seriously. Let me just do it. And I started being more public, sharing with friends, with my community, and like eventually outside of that with the songs that I wrote.
And what rappers were you listening to at that time?
At like just in growing up in general.
Yeah.
Number one was Lauryn Hill. Like that was a lot of my music taste comes from like my parents and just like what I heard growing up. And Lauryn Hill was the only rapper that my mom was like intentionally putting on. Like we're listening to Lauryn Hill now. And I think she has the biggest like impact on how I write, what I write about, the way that I switch between singing and rapping, or do both at the same time, or do a mix that is like, sometimes I say, sometimes one person says, oh, this is rapping. Sometimes another person says, this is singing. Like that comes from that. But also just like rap music that my brother was playing. He played like Immortal Technique, J. Cole, like early like Frank Ocean, like things that genre bended, but also were like very conscious and like were like real rap. Like not to be like that person, but it was like actually someone spitting on a song. Just saying.
Yeah, and I definitely get like the fact that you said that Lauryn Hill was like a huge influence. Like, yes, I see that. Like, I love that. I love definitely. Do you have any other influences, either creative or not creative, either like political figures or just like people in your life that have inspired you on your journey?
You know, when you said that, the first thing that came to mind was the fact that like my mom was always giving me like, usually secondhand from my brother, like super like political like autobiography books of like kids' version of like autobiography of Malcolm X, like stuff like that. And having that like influence in my life, my parents are very political, is what has led to like me never being able to stop talking about politics now at 21. So definitely Malcolm X, like definitely Angela Davis. In terms of music, like Bob Marley, like the way that he like talked about politics in a way that was loved by a lot of the world, in a way that like spread, like that's something that I look up to. Again, like Lauryn Hill in the way that she does that as well. Other musical influences that I had were like Amy Winehouse. My mom played her all the time. My mom was like big into like the vocalists, like, you know what I mean? Like the Mariah Careys, the Whitney Houstons. And even though I don't know if that shows up as much in my singing, like I think it does in the way that I think about arrangements and how like I want to move forward with my music. And my dad played a lot of music from like all over the world and like a lot of stuff in polyrhythms and things that made me think about rhythm in a complex way.
And how has it been? I know you've traveled a lot. You were in London a few weeks ago. Like, how has it been navigating those creative spaces? And do you notice any differences between, while you're here and then overseas somewhere else?
I really loved London. I think like out of all the places that I've traveled to, it had like the most welcoming and like lively like art scene that I had encountered. And like I would love to make more trips to London, inshallah, and like do more out there because I just genuinely met amazing people. And like the art that I saw, especially from people like me and like us, yeah, like I was like, sign me up. But I think you realize that every place is so different and New York is the best. Like, once again, like, here we are, New York is the best. Like, I love New York. Like, New York is home. Like, to actually get into it, like, New York is home. And, like, especially the Caribbean, like, community that's here, like, that's something that I've been appreciating more since coming back. Like Busta Rhymes, just like his BET acceptance speech. I don't know if y'all saw it, but he talks about like growing up like Jamaican in New York and like being in Long Island as well. And like that switch between like how gritty hip hop is and yada, yada, yada to like, you're with your community, like here now, you're with the elders, you're with the parents, you're with the aunt, like, and I just love like my people. Like I love the people who get it. And like, I love being in my city that like taught me how to be this way and like is a home to other people who are like this.
Um, I'm just skipping around.
So, speaking of a chip on your shoulder, so yeah, that was my point. When I listened to your EP, it was like certain lines that like stuck out to me. Granted, that was the name of the song, but when you said like lose that chip on your shoulder because you're only getting older, and hold on, I'm gonna get to the end of this question, but I was talking about this with Ryan actually, like, cause like my birthday's coming pretty soon. And I was just having like an epiphany, like, yo, like as we get older, like there's so much shit that like we carry on, like just like whether it's like bad habits or just like trauma, and it's just like, so like given that question, was that like a message to yourself or like anyone that's just going through the same?
All these noises. It just catches me off guard.
I'm gonna just act like was that a message to yourself or anyone that has experienced similar things to you, or just anyone in general?
It's a message to myself for sure, because I didn't want to say anything on 1446 that I didn't want to say with my chest. You know what I mean? Like as artists, sometimes we release that one song that is like maybe not 100% like how we feel or who we are like all the time, but it's catchy and it's fun and people liked it, or maybe it's not catchy and fun and people just liked it, and it's like your job as well to like deliver things that people want to listen to. But that's not the perspective that I came with for a single line in 1446. Like I can point out everything and be mad specific to a moment or a date or like why I said it or who I said it about and whatever. And I think that there's duality in that. Like I said everything for myself and like because of who I am, but I also said certain things because I want other people to like catch on to that, or I know other people feel the same way, and it's like I'll be the one to say it. And I think for chip on your shoulder, it's just like chip on your shoulder because you're only getting older, my love. Like there are people who coming into my early 20s, I realized that there are people out here who are just like collecting ops, like you know.
it's unnecessary weight that we don't need to bear. Like
Yes.
you gotta like, I don't want to sound corny, bro. You just gotta like, you gotta walk with love, bro. Like every step gotta be with love. Every decision gotta be love behind it. Like we don't gotta do all that, bro.
Alhamdulillah, that's not a mindset that I have. And so it wasn't like I was saying that to myself because I was like, you need to like always remember this. Like there are other parts on on the EP, like Float On, like it's because I'm like, whenever I feel this way, I want to be able to go back to this and have it be on Spotify. But with Chip on Your Shoulder, it was more like a reminder to self, like you've been above this, you're gonna continue to be above it, and also like catch up a little bit, like y'all need to hear this, like lose that chip on your shoulder because you're 20, 21, 22, 23, and eventually one day, inshallah, you're gonna be, you know, in your late 20s, in your 30s, and you're just gonna be collecting ops. Like not everybody hates you, not everything is against you, not everyone is against you. Just like lose the chip on your shoulder. Like something happens, brush it off.
Yeah.
That's my thesis.
I like that. I like that a lot, actually. Because I was just like hearing that line. I was like, I wonder what she meant. Like, did she mean the same thing I was thinking about? But like, it's just beautiful. I was just like, I don't know.
What were you thinking about?
No, like how I said, like, not to get too personal, but just me getting older and like certain things I carry with myself, whether it's like things, I don't know, everybody has certain things they don't like about themselves. And I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, bro, you're going to turn 23. Like, why do you still feel like this? Like, just be a person, bro. Like, you're a grown ass man. Like, I don't know. I can't really put it into words, but it was just like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I felt that, bro. Yeah.
Then I wanted to talk more about your other skills. I know you've danced. And I know you incorporate that in your visuals, your music videos. It's crazy. Like 2 days ago, I was at an event in Brooklyn, and I met this girl, and she was like, I know Sumaya. Like, I used to dance with her. I was like, what? Her name's Noor.
Wait, yeah, tall, skinny,
yes,
baddie.
Yeah.
Wait, that's actually
yes.
so
And I was like,
crazy.
wait, because we were just talking about like what we do, and I was like, yeah. I followed her on Instagram, and I was like, wait, how do you know Sumaya? And
I
was
probably
like,
haven't seen her since I was like 12.
yeah.
But shout out like Queen, like we've still followed each other on Instagram. Like, shout out.
So that was crazy. I was
For
like,
real.
wait, that's insane. I'm literally seeing her this weekend. Like,
Wait, I should do her up.
yeah.
Sorry, did I cut you off?
No,
Okay.
but yeah, I just wanted to like talk about more about just, I guess, you as a dancer and like how like you just talk about how you've been able to incorporate your other skills like dancing into your artistry as a whole.
I'm only laughing because it's like I have not considered myself to be anything close to a dancer since like the beginning of high school. And like after I put out running, I don't think I was really thinking about it as like, oh, like I'm dancing in this video and I have dancers. And like since putting out running, people be like, I saw you dance, girl. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, what is going on? Like, I guess I did do that. But I was a really serious dancer from like the age of 4 until like at some point in high school. Like I took dance classes like every week. I feel like I would even do gymnastics. I was on dance teams, dance competitions, like auditions, musical theater. Like I did all of that. And I like kind of made an intentional decision to stop dancing. I wasn't really a fan of like the dance world and like the spaces that I was in. Like I think there's amazing parts of the dance world, but I was not lucky enough to like be in those spaces growing up. And I just saw it as like a burden. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And so I stopped dancing and stopped taking dance classes. But it was something that I did for over 10 years, every weekend, hours, sometimes during the week. Like that was my life. And I think for running, like, even though I don't really dance anymore, I still love to dance, like, in my room, in my kitchen. Like, hey, I'm a bust a move. Like, I'm a bust a move. And running was one of those songs where it's like when I would listen to the mixes, it's kind of embarrassing. When I would listen to the mixes in my kitchen, cooking and stuff, I would just be like, no, like, there's movement to this. Like, I see it. Like, I can't choreograph it, but I see it. Like, I knew that I wanted, like, ba-ba, like, all of this stuff. And I was just like, I need to make this happen for the video. And now it's out there and people like bring up dancing to me and I'm like, okay, maybe I want to do this more and like kind of shed like the negative connotation that I have around it since I was younger.
Yeah, it was, the video was like fire. I loved it. I'm like, okay, dancer, songwriter, rapper, like, yes, she is the whole package. But like, speaking on the running video, it was like such a whole production. Like, it was so well, I feel like all your visuals are like so thoughtful and like they're so crisp and like you could really see that you put a lot of thought and intention into them. just wanted to hear like what the process was for getting all those people together to come together and help you create such like a beautiful piece of art. What was that whole process like?
I have one word for you, and that's 1495. Shout out to 1495. They are the production company that does all of my music videos thus far. And I just like officially joined as someone who's going to help with the production side as well. So I'm really excited to see where that goes and to like gain more experience doing this for other artists or for like brands and businesses who want videos and photos done for their work. But that team is comprised of Brooke, who was the producer on Runnin' and on Float On, which is coming out September 19th, and Renee, who directed all of the videos except Float On, Madison, who styled all of the videos, Salma, who was a producer on, again, Float On and Runnin', and Blay, who was the director for Float On, the DP for Float On, the editor, the color grader, and has done very similar things for the other projects, but mostly DP'd for them. They put a lot of it together, and I think that I always have a very active role in what they do for my videos and kind of take on like a creative director role at times, a producer role at times, and thankfully they give me the space to have a lot of input, which is why like I'm joining the team, because I want to like continue to do more production things. But genuinely, a lot of it is their genius. Like a lot of it is their dedication, their hard work, their vision. And I could go through every video and tell you little things like, okay, this was my idea. Like a lot of the things for Running, like having a dance and stuff like that, that was my input. Ego Off the Shelf, like I think I came up with the concept for that, and like Renee just like added more and more and more. But you can see like what everyone did. And hopefully 1495 will be a part of our video, be a part of our event on the 27th, and we can show the video and stuff like that. And they can tell you from their own words and their own perspective what it's like to do what they do.
Yeah, I love that. We're gonna make that happen.
Yeah,
we're gonna make it happen. Yeah. I guess going off of that, you mentioned like you have a lot of different roles within like, you know, either producing or like creative directing in your music videos. Are there any other skills in general that you would like to pick up just to help build yourself up as an artist?
Yeah, there's a lot. Like outside of my main music videos, when it comes to like the photo shoots that I do, the visualizers that I've made, like 99.9% of them are my concept, or I styled myself. I did my hair, I did my makeup, I picked the location. Like I do a lot of the work behind the scenes for my music. And this year, and with 1446 and with joining 1495, I want people to know more of like, actually, like I am doing more than just like singing or rapping on these tracks. Like these are my concepts, my mood boards. Like the main thing that I don't do is just like video editing and like taking the photos themselves, or doing the videography like myself. But even if I could figure out ways to start doing that more, like I definitely want to start doing that more for myself. And since like ending the Young Lords Collective, I haven't had the opportunity to like be behind the camera more and like have people know that that's something that I do. But when I was doing that stuff when I was a little bit younger, people knew that I was a creative director. People knew that I wrote. People knew that like writing, meaning like articles and stuff like that. People knew that I was styling because I was constantly doing that stuff for the collective and like highlighting other artists or other activists, and like it wasn't me as the face. But once you become the face of something, people kind of just assume that's all you're doing. I think especially too when you're a Black woman, but that's another conversation.
So on that point of like doing multiple things and just having different skills, like mentally, like how is that being like would you consider yourself a multi-discipline?
Multi-hyphenate,
Yeah.
Like anything is fine.
Yeah. Yeah, like how's that like mentally? Because it is fun, but like speaking from experience of just like having to juggle multiple things, it is very stressful. So how do you try to manage that?
Sigh. I think the reason why I ended up doing so many things was because like I have like a general anxiety disorder that like overwhelmed my life for like a large period of time, especially like in the beginning of me making stuff and like having a collective and stuff like that. And I just wanted everything to be done, and I wanted it to be done in my way. And I was so hyper fixated on that it was like, somebody got to do it. It's me. So I think like since then, I've been trying to find more healthy ways to like involve other people in my work, give people space to like have a say in like how I'm presented or how my music is presented. And to figure out what I actually really enjoy doing and I don't do just because my anxiety is telling me to do it, and how I can lean into that more and do it for other people and like, inshallah, have a professional portfolio around those things where it's like I'm known for not just music, to the extent where when people do see my music, they're like, I know she did other things for this as well.
Do you have any other questions?
No.
All right. I guess we're going to start wrapping up the interview. I have one more question.
Okay,
I guess for the next individual who wants to get into this creative world and create music and art, what advice would you have for them? And like, yeah, just from your experience in this world, what have you learned that you would like to impart on someone else?
It sounds like so corny and like, you know, we all try not to be like cornballs in this interview.
Why are we trying so hard?
Embrace the corn.
Nah, but like I feel like people say it all the time, but just like do it, just put it out there. Like my first anything that I ever released was like a remix of Bug's Life by Tierra Whack, and that's from like her project where everything was less than a minute, and like I mixed it. I say that very loosely. Like I mixed it in my room with like an equipment bundle that I got for like $200. Like it was, you know, it was giving very, you know, made at home. Like we got food at home. But people just like pushed me to put it out, and I put it on SoundCloud, and I don't think I've ever gotten such an overwhelming immediate response to something that I released. And people really underestimate how much love is shown to the first thing that you drop, no matter what it is. And it's because there is someone out there, if you're from a small town, if you're from a big city, I don't care. There's someone out there who wants to hear the first thing that you're gonna do. It might even be your mom, bro. Just like lean into the people who like actually care and go for that first leap, because actually it's gonna be harder after that. Just being real, like it's gonna be harder after that. So do the first thing and just like start training yourself to get used to like the shock of like being public and like people perceiving you, because it's weird, but you could do it.
Yes. Yeah, you can do it. Yes. Well, thank you so much, Sumaya. Thank you so much. She has a new EP. The deluxe just got released, 1446. Stream that, all platforms. Stream it.
Sumaya
New
Nazar.
music, exactly. New music video dropping September 19th.
September 19th.
Stream that.
Yeah, YouTube. Big Nazar.
Exactly. And she will be joining us on September 27th at Mashari Cafe in Harlem for the breakdown. We will be breaking down her music and also hopefully having a viewing of her new music video as well. We'll also have a custom Sumaya Nazar drink, so come have your coins ready to support, get a little drinky drink, and also support Sumaya and her team and just her wonderful self. So yeah, we'll see y'all soon, and thank you so much
Thank you guys
again.
so much, for real. Thank you.
Thank you.